Hi everybody, welcome back to Summer Camp Tips. Please stay to the end of the video to find out about our giveaways. We're getting really close. Anyway, today I'm going to talk a little bit, it's a dark subject, but it's something that needs to be addressed. We're going to talk about an active shooter at camp. Now, obviously they have drills at school now for active shooters, but it's not something that I know of that is addressed a lot by camp. So let's talk first a little bit about the shooter. What is the shooter thinking mental-wise? Some of the things that he will do is this guy will keep shooting until he is stopped, until he is killed, or until he commits suicide. Now, the primary motive of a shooter is revenge. Could be a former camp person, could be somebody that was fired. Other motives, though, include physical or mental illness, rejection, financial trouble, or they could just be mad at the world. Now, there's some really strange facts out there that I don't think that people know. In fact, I didn't. The active shooter age is between 14 years and 18 years old. 99% of shooters are male. I didn't know that. Okay, let's talk about some personality traits and behaviors of a shooter. Okay, the shooter will have low tolerance for frustration. Could be a failed love life, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be. Depression. They'll show lack of empathy. They will show need for attention. They could have low self-esteem, anger problems, inappropriate humor. They like to manipulate others, and they have an unusual interest in violence. Could be in video games or movies. I hate saying video games because that's the fallback that everybody says. If you play violent video games, it's going to affect you. I don't believe that. And again, likes violent-filled entertainment. Now, as far as camp procedures go, okay, some of the factors are going to differ from camp to camp, and it's going to depend on the size and the layout of the camp, how many kids or people are on camp if a shooter comes, where are the locations of the indoor and activities on the camp, how many people are on camp. That's including staff and campers. Now, what kind of safety orientation do you do at staff training to help the other staff members know what to do? So it's something you definitely want to touch on during staff training. Communication methods around camp. How does your camp staff communicate? I know most camp carries radios, but some of the smaller camps don't have anything like that. You want to take into consideration the police response time to be able to get to your camp just in case you have something going on. You want to go over just exactly how you want your policy to be. Now, do you want them to shelter in place, or do you want them just to run and get the hell out of there? I know a lot of schools now have changed from shelter in place to get out of the building if it's all possible to do. So that's something that you're going to have to definitely come up with a plan for. You need to come up with a way that you're going to notify your staff if there's an active shooter on your camp. You need to have a place where everybody is going to meet away from camp in case something's going on. The other thing you need to be ready for is the media. If you're a camp director, I know that the policy I've always had in place was they only could talk to me. Camp staff were not allowed to talk to the media, or the media could talk to someone over me. But if you're a camp director, all you do is say, I can't answer your questions right now. We don't know what's going on. I'll be more than happy to give you some information a little bit later. Okay, if you have a shooter on camp, camp staff. The camp staff should identify the location of the threat. If you're out in a play field and you can hear gunfire up in your kitchen, get out of there. Head out into the woods somewhere where nobody could see you. You need to definitely calm down your campers. You got to tell them, hey, you know, it's going to be all right as long as you follow my directions. Okay, if you have an active shooter and it's indoors, the camp staff should Remain with the campers at all times. Try to lock the door if possible. Blockade the door if you can with some kind of furniture or something else. I know at camp, like in your dining hall and stuff, none of this would be possible, but in the office maybe you could. Make sure that you turn the lights off to make it harder for them to see. Lead the campers to places where they can hide behind furniture, behind cabinets, anywhere possible. Tell your campers not to huddle together. You don't want all your campers in one area of a building if the shooter comes in. Again, how do you let others know if there's an active shooter? During camp staff training, it should be something that you address. Most camps have handheld radios that they can let the rest of the staff know of what's going on. Let's say you're outside and there's an active shooter. First thing, try to seek out shelter in any building that you can, but if it's not practical and you're not in a place where there's a building, run with the group to a safe location opposite from where you hear the noises come from the shooter. Okay, spread your campers out in small groups. Again, don't let them all huddle together. Upon arriving at your safe location, call 911 on your cell phone if you can. Don't immediately call over the radio, and especially if you do not tell anybody where you are, because the shooter could be listening. And be prepared to stay where you are for hours. It could be a very, very long time before everything is taken care of. Again, reassure your campers. Once help arrives, do not leave where you're located at, and make sure everything is calmed down and they have the situation under control. Somebody should announce that to you on your radio that it's safe to come out. And when you come out, follow the directions of any law enforcement officers there. Even if you want, you can put your hands up a little bit, because they do not know if there's another shooter, and your campers could be around the same age of the shooter. So you want to make sure the police know that you're not a threat to them. Okay, if you're in an immediate area, right where that shooter is at, you need to assume that his goal is to kill all of you. Okay, so you got to do whatever you need to do to survive. If somebody gets shot, lay down next to him. Consider the distance from where you are and where the shooter is. And if you have a chance, get out of there. Another thing is, prepare if you have to defend yourself. It sounds bad, but you got to make sure that you and your campers are safe. And if that means taking on the intruder when he's right there in front of you, so be it. This is definitely not the first thing that you want to do, but if you got a gun pointed at you when you're standing right next to a shooter, you know his goal is to kill you. So you need to, if you have to, you need to defend yourself. Some of the other things, if he enters a room and you're in there with campers, is pick up things and throw them at the shooter. Yell at the shooter. Just start screaming. Okay? When you're running, maintain a low center of gravity. It gives him a harder place to shoot. Now, if you can get out, go. And continue to run away from the location. Okay? Let anybody know where you are after the incident is over, so they know that you and your group are safe. Okay, after the active shooter, if evacuation is necessary, camp staff should guide their campers to the preset location that they have for a meeting point. Now, this is something that you should have addressed in staff training. If you have a natural disaster or whatever the case may be, there should be one location where the kids meet at. So once you know 100% sure it's over, go ahead, get your kids to that location, and the first thing you want to do when you get there is do a head count of your campers. The camp director will be running around talking to each staff member or each counselor and ask them for a number of campers that they have with them, and if they are missing any, and if they are, what are their names. Right afterwards, your kids are going to just be a mess. Make sure that your staff is there to console them, talk to them, tell them that everything is okay now. This could be something just as simple as, hey, little Billy, I know you're scared. I was scared too, but it's over now and everyone is safe. And don't forget now that the camp staff as well is going to need some kind of guidance when this is over, not just the campers. Okay, again, we touched on this. What is the protocol for media? I talked about this a minute ago. You need a go-to person at your camp that's going to handle any questions from the media. Make sure to tell your staff, do not post anything whatsoever on social media about the incident, because if they do, it's going to make it harder for you to handle the situation that's going on at camp. Hey everybody, thanks for watching my video. I hope you made it to the end. I know that it was definitely quite long. But please like, subscribe, hit that bell, tell your friends. Make sure to leave comments on the videos, because that's how we're going to choose our winner. So when we hit 25 subs, I'm giving away 2 songbooks that have over 100 songs in it for your camp. And when we hit 50 subs, I'm giving away this fantastic handmade t-shirt quilt with t-shirts from all across the U.S. So please tell your friends, leave comments. Peace out.